Last and not least, Shane Kerr from IBM NS1, must shuffle resource records. Just a reminder, everybody, if can you please fill out all the polls that we've got probably on your screens in Mattermost. It matters for this last stretch. Thanks. Shane?
Thank you. Right, so this is based on a little bit of research that I did based on some issues that some customers were having migrating to our service. So we had a customer who was mostly secondaries coming to us, and they used simple DNS load balancing, basically giving multiple addresses to a name with the expectation that their clients would then connect basically at random spread across those servers. Now, on our side, we're an authoritative only provider, and we've never randomized the answers that we give. And we've been around for 12 years or so, and it's never been an issue. We do provide the ability for customers to randomize one specific record if they want to. We have a technology for this, but not for secondary zones. And when the customer came on board, they found a huge bias, and they actually had to stop their migration, and then we had to quickly implement shuffling for secondary zones so that they could actually use our service. So what we ended up doing was putting a flag per customer. We wanted to keep it simple. We didn't want to add a whole bunch of configuration, also because we had a very short timeline to get this done. And we couldn't just turn it on for everyone, because then we might have broken things in the other way. If things that were biased suddenly became unbiased, that might have also impacted customers. So that's what we ended up doing. Problem solved. But the larger issue kind of was niggling at the back of my head, so I thought, well, you know, is this a real problem? Is this a more general problem? And of course, we know that it actually affected the one customer, but does that make it a general problem? And like I said, we've never done this before, so it's nothing new. And our position has always been, and honestly still remains, that this is really the work of DNS resolvers. And of course, since resolvers cache, they're going to get a lot more queries. So if the resolver isn't randomizing, then, if the resolver isn't randomizing, even if the authoritative server is, then all of those questions are going to get the same answer, and you're going to see bias. Like I said, ours hasn't traditionally shuffled. There are other software which also doesn't shuffle. I believe NSD works this way, and maybe not. There's performance reasons why you don't want to do it on the authoritative side, because you can basically send out a pre-built answer if you don't have to change it, but if you have to randomize, then you can't do it. Or you have to have a set of answers that you pick from, which takes memory, blah, 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 blah. So the question is, should the DNS standards be more explicit about, at least for resolvers, and what they should do? So the question is, let's actually look and see what happens. So as I often do, I turn to Ripe Atlas, whereas if you don't know, it's a service run by Ripe NCC, which has little tiny probes spread all around the world, and then you can ask it to do measurements. So in this case, I, on our system, configured a record with 5 answers, A records, and I picked 50 random probes from the Ripe Atlas system and had them send a query to their local resolvers, and then I just downloaded the results and then checked for ordering, and then I did it again, but with randomizing the answer that we did. And the results were actually quite shocking for me, and it turned out that 28 of the 50 probes got answers in a consistent order, meaning that the resolver wasn't shuffling the answers. And 18 of those seemed to be using Cloudflare or something like Cloudflare, like 1.1.1.0 or things like that, or 1.0.1, I don't know. And then when I turned on randomization on the authoritative side, of course, the probes got shuffled answers. So just by chance, you would expect 1 in 720 answers to come back in order, not 14 out of 25 or whatever. So it's a strong signal that this isn't happening at the resolver level. Now, I talked just yesterday to someone from Cloudflare, and apparently what they do randomize the answers, but not the first one. So they do look up at the authoritative, and then they just pass that on. It's maybe a good compromise. I don't know. I think in the case where people have low TTLs, it's gonna cause a lot more bias in the ultimate answers that clients get. Anyway, you can download the slides. The raw data is there. There's only 2 simple measurements. You can repeat that yourself. It's pretty easy. You can ask me for the code. It's also very simple, just looking to see how things are ordered. 32 lines of Python. And what's next? We're going to probably consider changing our defaults, at least for new customers, and asking our current customers if they want to change it. And I think maybe in the standards, we might want to make a very simple draft which says you should randomize things certainly at the resolver level, probably at the authoritative level, and also maybe in the application level. That's it. Oh, no questions. Yeah.